Hello all, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This time is the second part in our double feature, 3-point fracture, where things certainly were a time ended with some time ended in a time last in the last game, and this game is the fallout of that. So this game I am going to be playing my in a bit of a state wizard Crystal, and I am joined by the wonderful, the lovely, the person I would. There's no one else I'd rather be here with right now.
Dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Hello, I'm Dew. I cannot believe you've just said right now. You should want to hang out with me all the time. Candle. Let's be real here. Anyway, yes, hello, I'm Dew. I'm Dew Kieran. If you haven't seen Two Truths and a Lie, go fucking do that, please. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
And also, man, things were had and said. And also, Candle was brilliant and incredible. And gosh, I basically just sat back and watched shit happen. And I was like, okay. All right. Cool. So without that, this won't make much sense. There won't be much context. So please, for the love of Peck, watch that first. This is a follow-on directly afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
Tessa.
you still didn't introduce who you are or who you're playing.
I introduced who I was. I didn't introduce who I was playing. Yeah, that would be a good point. I'm still playing Eenie, Miney, and Mo. Again, carrying on from that last game. They're three-headed birds. They have potentially made a mistake, but they seem to realise it. But that's fine. It's okay. They're gonna fix it because they're gonna fix it. It's fine. They're gonna fix it. It's gonna be fine. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Everything's going to be fine.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Nothing will stay like
Maybe.
nothing. Look, they're rangers. They fix things. They can fix this. It's fine. They're good at this shit. They're good at this. It'll be fine. It'll be so fine. Anyway, anyway,
Ah,
anyway.
no.
Candle,
No.
candle,
You get
candle,
disadvantage.
candle. Get disadvantage on what?
Fine. Okay. Um,
What? What have you rolled? What have I missed? Hang on.
uh, uh,
Oh god, that was a nat 20 on that first roll, Candle.
yeah. So, to start off, I'm ignoring those rolls because, Peck Dice Passer.
There's no. Dice Pass has just been bullying both of us recently.
In the opposite
Last,
directions, too.
you get only high rolls, I get only don't. Look, usually I wouldn't argue against low rolls if we weren't doing anything specific, but we were doing something very specific, and Dice Passer was just saying, no. But, okay. Anyhow, let's continue. Dice Passer's being a jerk, let us continue. Candle.
um,
Candle.
yes.
What's going on right now?
That was a whiz save for one Crystal Everlight, who has been left in her apartment after everything that happened. So, that's why I said I am ignoring those rolls right now.
Okay, nice. They pick the dice.
Because, I don't care what the dice says. I don't think she's doing well right now.
No, I would say she's probably not. Probably not doing great. I'm not gonna lie. Considering what's just happened. However, I'm gonna roll. Come on. Fine. Okay, that's fine. So hey, where's Crystal right now?
Um,
Position wise in her.
she is where Eenie, Miney, and Mo left her.
Okay. Um so she's Probably still on the floor from when she got knocked over with that wonderful little thunder wave from Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You wanna roll me a deck save?
Sure.
See, this is my favourite thing to have people roll at the beginning of games, 'cause it's just like, okay, why? You managed to roll out of the way. As let me just roll an athletics. Okay. Good news. The loud bang of the door just kind of kicking in and slamming against the wall before slowly kind of back in its hinges as Eenie Miny Mo just busts through the front door and kind of shuffle underneath the doorway and just turn around and very gently just closing the door and then turning around. But yeah, that 16 was basically you reacted with like a flinch and a roll as you thought the door was going to come crashing down. You know what they do sometimes where they just kind of break down doors. It's fine. They usually fix them afterwards, but this time they didn't. Um,
Yeah, she might also be just a bit more jumpy than normal lately. Can't imagine
can't think
why.
of why. Can't think. Really can't imagine why. Boggles the mind. But yeah, Eenie, Miny, and Mo are gonna look down at her. And then, Wiz, I know exactly what they're gonna ask. They're just gonna sort of crouch on the floor, shuffle forwards towards her until they're like a foot away from her. And then you're just gonna hear her, Crystal, you doing alright there?
I think uh I think she's going to ignore the question and is did you did you get her home okay? Is she alright? Of course she's not alright, but you saw her home, right?
Uh, Not. They're like, oh yeah, no, we absolutely, yeah, we gave her a lift, made sure she got home safe. Yes, she definitely did get home safe, absolutely, 100%. And they just nod. And like, yeah, we made her a cup of tea and, made her a cup of tea and then we, took our leave because didn't seem like she wanted to, talk much or anything, so, we left her a way to contact us if she wants to, and, yeah, she's no, no, no. She's all right, I guess. And just kind of shrug, because again, they didn't roll an insight. They just kind of.
Yeah, that's alright. She's there's a bit of a relief in her posture and just a bit of an absent-minded nod right now. Uh, yeah.
Gonna nod their heads, stand back up to their full height, turn around into the kitchen, and they're just gonna call out, "Do you want a cup of tea?" Yeah, we can make a quick cup of tea and have a bit of a sit down. How about that? And they just gonna go. You hear clinking, rattling coming from your kitchen as they go rifling through the cupboards to make themselves a cup of tea.
Yeah, God, I'm I'm not sure what she's doing right now. I think she's still kind of shell shocked mostly.
You say she's still sitting on the floor.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Um, they're all busy in the kitchen, and then you just hear, "Oh yeah, no, I don't think she takes that much sugar." Oh well, if she doesn't have it, then I can have it. That you've already made 2 cups just for you. You need to make more for us. Well, I like it very, very sugary. And then Mo's just kind of drifting away and look over, and Crystal's still on the floor. He looks over and says, "Fellas, what? What? No, we're having a very important discussion." And Eenie has just a kilogram's worth of sugar and seems to be making steady work of pouring it all into one bowl, like a bowl of tea, not a mug. And Mo's just, "I think we kind of she hasn't moved." What do you mean she hasn't moved? And he looks over, sees Crystal still sitting down. Ah, right. Oh, she's still on the floor. And Eenie puts down the sugar and leans back over, and now you've got three heads kind of looking back over at Crystal, and it's like,
Was that
she
a
hasn't moved.
perception, by the way?
Yes, it was.
You will notice she does seem to be like running her fingers across her arms where the cracks that you healed are now gone. Like, again, a little bit in disbelief.
Mm, they all kind of glance at each other, and then look at the tea, and I think we can leave the tea brewing for a bit. Yeah, you know what? Let's get settled. And they just turn around with a heel like a little 180 spin, march out, and I don't know if you're gonna. I don't know if you're gonna struggle against this, but they're just gonna like struggle. They're just gonna like slowly like. No, they're not gonna slowly go down. They're just gonna put two heads underneath your armpits and just kind of hoist you up, and you've got like both of your arms are kind of around the middle of Miney's neck, and he's like, "All right, it's nest time, I guess." And they're just gonna waddle over a little awkwardly as your feet are probably trailing on the floor a little bit, because you're still facing towards their body, and they're just kind of shuffling you backwards towards the nest until they plonk you down, and they're like, "We'll get to you. Just make yourself comfy." And they just kind of like nudge at the nest a little, like rearrange some of the clothing. That was a four. What was that? Was that to try and contest it?
Yeah, that might have been a contestation roll. I think there's a little bit of a like half-hearted feeling, but like she's still kind of out of it right now.
They look down at that and they look at each other and they pick up an article of clothing and just kind of lay it over her, and I'm gonna roll wit save here actually. That's about average. They kind of Mo kind of leans forward towards her hair, and then Miney just pokes them at the side. Kind of, oh, what was that? It's clearly not the time for that, mate. Come on, finish up the tea. We can have a sit down. And they just, oh, fine, all right. And they just kind of lean back, go to finish the tea, and still you're in their nest for a little bit. Yes.
I feel like I should be rolling something for her to be processing all of this, but I don't know what because I mean, gestures at the earlier with
What about
save.
Constitution to change it up?
Ah, yeah,
Have a Constitution save.
that's not a bad one.
Considering, yeah, considering you have been hit with a thunder wave. Well, holding it together, quite literally holding yourself together rather well.
Hmm.
But still, man, even if that was a 19, that's still a shock. What happened?
Yeah.
Um, so Eenie Money Mo come back and they like gonna hold out. Enie's gonna hold out the tea to you. They're gonna hold out they're gonna hold out the mug so you can grab the handle. So they've got their beak around the actual mug itself. Whereas Miney and no, sorry, Miney and Mo, they kind of brought out like just a little plate of biscuits, like plain old biscuits, and another cup of tea, and they just kind of plonked that on the ground for them. Actually, not it's not a cup. It's a bowl. It's a bowl of tea. They share the tea. They didn't have time to do individual cups. They're just doing it all in a bowl. They hold it out to see if she will take it.
That was a perception roll.
Oh, good. Do you want me to make a like counter perceptions? No, I feel like a counter perception is just going to be unproductive. We'll be sitting here for ages. So they're just gonna. Nini's gonna squint and then just slowly put down the cup of tea near Crystal, where she can reach it, but not like knock it over if she does shuffle. And then just they're gonna sit outside of the nest, blocking the doorway. So they're sitting between her and the door, but she could still get up and like get to the window and stuff. And they're just gonna. So what just happened there? Like, kind of a lot of stuff just happened, and well, kind of think you cracked a little under the pressure there. And they just kind of sit there, just taking slow sips of their tea, and looking at you, just like, did you want to talk about it, or we can just, leave you to it? I mean, we'd rather not, but obviously, if you know, need space or whatever, it's fine. We can give you a little space, or we can bring Cassie back, and you two can have a chat, and you can fix it all up. Yeah, I mean, you fixed it up last time, didn't you? So, there's no saying you can't fix it up this time. Yeah, no. Your sisters, after all, like family and stuff. Family fix stuff together, right? Yeah, no, family fixes stuff together. Pretty sure. Yes, no. From what we've seen, yes.
Is she's obviously like not really listening to what you're saying, but there is a soft. She she attacked me.
They pause and they kind of look at each other. Um, kind of don't know what exactly to say here, but they just turn around and say, "Well, I mean, we tried to stop her from leaving, and she was pretty upset." Yeah, from what we kind of seen at least, it seems like trying to stop someone that is in that kind of space of like wanting to just get out, it's usually ends usually ends with like either a fist to the face or a nice knife to the head. Sometimes an entangle to the legs. It can be know, sometimes it's a split second reaction and not so much so much forceful, harmful intent, more so just a way to get away, sort of thing.
She's never done anything like that before.
Well, I mean, yeah, but she's also oh, she's never really had to have something that big dropped on her before, and it was a it was an awful lot. Like, I don't know what. I don't understand half of exactly what you said. We did hear some stuff. We did try not to hear it, mind you. Yeah, no, privacy and all that. We just wanted to stick around to make sure that you two wouldn't actually like smacky each other. But I think we kind of picked it up a little bit on that. We didn't expect the magic. I was expecting slapping. I don't know why we're expecting slapping. Yeah, I mean, you're a wizard and, you cast spells, so. I mean, your sister could be a fighter. She could be a fighter. We don't know. I mean, yeah, just because your sister doesn't mean you have the same fighting style, she could have tried and boxed you up, and if she were a fighter, she'd, break your jaw or something. So we weren't exactly prepared for magic.
God, please stop
As
rolling
long
so
as this again.
high.
Do you want to roll again and see if she gets lower? Or do a con?
Why an
You want me to roll
Arcana?
for her? Okay, if you want.
No, like, sorry, what did you like say?
Oh, um, no, I mean, you can try a constitution again if you want. Or if you want, I can roll for her, but considering my rolls.
Uh, God, I don't
I can
know.
try roll
Like,
d20 plus 5.
yeah,
Let's see what happens if I roll.
yeah.
Let's see what happens if I roll. Oh, no, Dice Master says, no, Crystal's fine. No, she is not. I'm going to roll again at disadvantage. Come on. That's the number we
Okay.
want. That's a better number.
God.
Gosh, what did we get? We got a nat 20, an 18, a 12, another nat 20, and then a 7 for a whiz save. We're not trying to succeed, Dice Passer. Stop helping her.
I think maybe this has just been like the sort of the like across the time, like just the this is fine, everything's fine, like it's not sinking in. That's why she's kind of catatonic a little bit at the moment, like um and then like
The
yeah, at
time.
the end they're like, oh, what did they say, like what did they say last?
Um, Gosh, man, you asked me to think about what I said 5 minutes ago. Um, they were basically started ranting about how they were preparing for a physical attack, like slaps, but they shouldn't have really because you're a wizard, and also maybe your sister kind of fought the same way. But I mean, just because you're sisters doesn't mean you fight the exact same way. Like you're different people, kind of thing. She could have been a fighter, and like she could have tried and like punched you and given you a broke your jaw, kind of thing.
Mm. I think yeah, okay. I think then there's that like a little bit of a spark of anger, and the Cassie is not a fighter.
Just stop. And they just look over and cock their head and say, "Ow, all right, okay. We didn't know that." Yeah, didn't really get to that part of the conversation about when we were talking with her. She didn't really bring up what exactly she did, or I mean, she dances really well. I mean, she could be like one of them. What's the word, lads? Hang on. Yeah, what is the word? And I'm gonna roll a quick history check because I want to see if they know what capiera is. It's fun if you did know what this was. No, it's a nat one. They kind of tilt their heads to the side and they're like, there's this thing where you like dance but also fight. No, I think that's a fishing thing. No, actually, I think that's like what is it? It's like isn't that a thing that you? That's a fish, right? What, like carp? Oh yeah, carpera. It's like a different kind of fish now, isn't it? Oh yeah, I think was that the thing that we saw earlier? Oh, it was the thing that shot her down. Yes, that was a carpera. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. That's not the dancing style at all. Um,
I think there's
let's go ahead.
oh really? You talked to her? Really? Tell me, what exactly did you say?
They just blink, blink, blink. Well, blink, blink, shake of the shaggy head, turn towards each other, turns back towards Crystal and tilts their head and say, "Well, we just kind of asked her about, her life and what she's doing, and she told us about the few adventures she's gone on, and she said that she wanted to go on a few more adventures. So obviously, she's your sister, so we offered, yeah, you can come with us on a couple of times if you want, yeah, because it'd be nice to go out and you can come along as well and go out as like a, kind of you two can have a family outing kind of thing, and we can help guard you or like teach you how to be proper rangers kind of thing. But yeah, they just kind of talked about wanting to go on adventures, and they talked about their mum and dad, and they talked about you. Oh yeah, you went on adventures as well. Why didn't you tell us you went on adventures before? And they kind of lean over and they try to give you like a cheeky like shoulder nudge and like, why didn't you tell us you were a little bit of an adventurer? Why didn't you tell us about it?
Uh, she's gonna like sort of shove you away and just
Roll an insight. Roll an insight.
sure.
It's 12.
And
She's not in the mood right now.
you pick
She's
up
not in the mood right now.
she's angry. You can tell the shock is starting to wear off, and guess what's replacing it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just gonna nod and be like, okay, yeah, no, I'd understand. I'd understand the anger. I mean, it's but you really shouldn't be angry with her. It's not. She didn't do that on purpose. Yeah, no, she's not like. She doesn't hate you or anything, and it's not like yeah, it's like she was reactive. She
I'm
didn't mean
not
to hurt you or anything.
angry at her.
Blink, head shake. Yeah, that's that's good then at least. Yeah, we've heard that. infighting in families is rather dangerous. So we that's good. And they just kind of nod, and they're like, wait, if you're not angry at her, then who are you angry at? I mean, yeah, what exactly are you? So, is it? Oh, wait a second. Is it because of your arm? Did we not heal your arm correctly? And they just kind of lean down and start to very gently poke at your arm.
She pulls back, and the I'm angry at you. How could you tell her? I asked you not to, and you still did.
Let's roll a history, shall we? Let's roll a history, see how it goes. This is where so for all of last game, they rolled under a 10 for their history. I rolled a nat 1 for their history to remember the Capiera. They've now rolled a nat 20.
Yeah.
I think back to nesting know-how where this was kind of brought up. They nod and they're like, oh, right. Okay, yeah, no, right, okay, thinking about it, you did say not to mention it. And let me think about it.
Oh,
And they
did
just,
I? Did I really? Did. I trusted you! I trusted you and you did it anyway!
blink, headshake. But, I mean, we didn't do it like, maliciously or anything. Yeah, no, it's not. We just kind of. Oh, and then, I mean, even if we did forget, it's, it's, no, I mean, it's not exactly like she wasn't going to find it at some point. And, it's, it might have been like, it might have been easier to just say it, instead of, wait around until it becomes so big a deal that you just can't get it out, sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna roll another whiz save.
For it.
Come on, where is my mouse? Okay. There's a flaring of her nostrils, and she's standing up in the. Do you not think that I was trying to figure out a way to tell her? Of course not. When do you ever think before you open your big mouths? You never think.
Their brows start to furrow and they just slowly get up, and this is my turn.
Oh no.
People listening. That was a nat 1 on a whiz save with a -1, which is a 0. So, Eenie and Miney just kind of squint, confused and a little angry, and they go to open their beaks. Mo speaks up and says, when do we ever think? And starts to vibrate a little, and they turn their heads towards Mo. When do we ever think? Well, I'll tell you when we think. We think that when you're working yourself far too pecking long, and we have to drag you outside just to get you out, to get you doing something other than your work. When we try to think that you do too much, we try to help you and you turn it away because you're a big boss, Crystal. You can look after yourself. You're a big girl. You don't need anyone else's help. No, hey fella. And when do we think? When do we think? We think when it involves you. And lifts up a foot and points it. Doesn't make contact, but they point it aggressively at Crystal. We think when it concerns you. We think when it concerns you and your welfare and your general mental health. Because that's, I'm not gonna lie, it's in the pits right now, you are. And maybe we made a mistake. Okay, fine, people make mistakes. You've made a mistake after all. Do you remember what you told her? Do you remember what you told your sister earlier? No, no, you shouldn't. No, she needs to hear this. She needs to hear this, and you two are going to be too nice about it. Do you remember what you told her earlier? You, go ahead. You remember?
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of the.
Good. You can take your time.
Oh God. Okay. Sorry for the long sort of pause. Just
What's
um.
fine. This is kind of an important thing
Yeah.
you need to do.
There's a. She's not backing down from this one. Like the anger is just building. Cause like there's just everything is. Uh, Everything that she's been working towards is crashed a bit around her, and
Mm,
um so there's a. Yeah, I can take care of myself. I've been doing it for most of my life. I was doing just fine before you came, and I would be just fine without you. And yeah, I do remember what I say. Of course, I remember what I say because I know what happened. I've lived with what has happened the entire since I was 8. I have had to try and fix this since I was 8.
you've been doing your best to do that.
Don't don't
Hear how much
don't you even start with that.
you know. No, you care. You try your hardest, and that's why we respect you. That's why we want you on our team because you work hard and you do your best. You don't do your best for yourself or for Cassie. Just lied to her for years. You kept it a secret for years. You said it was her fault that her mother died. Can you think for a second? Now tell me, just for a second. Imagine that Cassie came up to you. Told you big secret. Real big secret. She hadn't told you anything for years. No, she just up and left one day. Didn't give an explanation. Just poof. Then, then she comes crawling back. She tells you, "Oh, don't worry, everything's fine." And then she comes and tells you, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's your fault. Something awful happened. Someone we cared about was lost." And you tell me
Why
you think
do you think I didn't say anything in the first place?
Crystal, I think we kind of get why you didn't, but it's also. It's not your secret to keep, quite frankly. If I had that kind of secret in my head, I'm gonna roll this. If I had to keep those. If I had to keep a secret from someone like that. And Mo just kind of leans back and says, "I wouldn't keep it forever like that. You kept it a secret from her since she was a baby. She was little apparently. And I get you were dealing with it from a young age. It's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, but that's not an excuse. It's her life. It's her life to live with. How she wants to live with it. And depending what happens, eh? What happens if she doesn't know about this condition and she goes on living her life wishing she could have adventures and knowing she can't have adventures for some stupid reason that no one is telling her about, and then she dies one day. She dies never having done what she wanted to do because you wouldn't tell her. You wouldn't tell her from the get-go, and she wouldn't know what she had to do. She wouldn't know how to handle it. And I know you don't know, but you wouldn't be able to help her. Just decided it all for her, like it was, like you had that picking right. And Mo's hair right now is, usually it's quite fluffy, but at the moment it looks very coarse, and they are taking a step towards you, and Eenie and Miney are looking at Mo, and oh, mate, you need to calm down. No, this is not how we should. No, he's not gonna get it unless we get it through her.
Oh, I'm not gonna get it, but not you. Do you guys ever think about the danger you put yourself in? Do you even think about the danger you might be putting others in when you jump head first in with no thoughts of the repercussions of your actions? Do you ever learn from that? Your head is so fucking full of your own overinflated ego that you think nothing can go wrong when you're around. Well, newsflash, it can. And it did. It's your fault this happened.
Now, at this point, when you start going on about this, Miney's mohawk starts to kind of peak up a bit, a little spike here, and Miney's buff starts to spike up as well as he starts to glare down at you, say, "What? Excuse? Are you doubting our skills as a rat? Excuse you. We are actually pecking good rangers. The reason we go out and put ourselves in danger for other people to make sure they can live happy lives, safer lives, that's because we can take it, because we're strong and we're flexible, and maybe you don't think we're smart enough to do that, but by peck, when things get tough, when things get rough, even if we're not smart, we wallow through. We put our heads down and we get through. And maybe we're not the smartest people around, but tell you what, when you're out in the field and you've got a knoll trying to tear your pecking leg off, you tell me, how would you handle that? What, with your mage magic? With your mage armour that'll crackle if you lose concentration, with your pecking witch bolt that has a chance of missing. You think you can stand out there and do what we do, fight like we do? We we looked at you and we saw potential because you are strong, Crystal. You are strong in spirit, and oh, I'm not going to deny that. That's entirely a part of you. But you're weak. You're so picking weak in so many other little ways. You know that? You know that? I mean, and I'm gonna not so gently tink you on the shoulder. I mean, after all, it takes one little shout from your little sister to give you a crack. If you're so stern, if you're so tough, if you're so able to do what we do, and if you're so able to fix things better than we can, then what exactly are you doing here talking to us instead of going to talk to your sister?
I wanted to be in that situation. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think that maybe there are people who don't want to do what you do? You're bad at
Back.
this. And there's this moment of just uh like um sorry
Good.
she sorry yeah she lets out a seriously, you're as bad as my dad. And then she stops, and she's not seeing you anymore. And there's this like bitter realization dawning on her features as like, and yeah, that then she's just like her expression closes off again.
Oof. So I rolled a deception for that. Crystal was not paying attention, but Eenie, Miney, and Mo just kind of rear back, and it's not incredibly obvious, but the eyes do widen a little bit as you say, just like my dad. And it's going to take a bit of processing time for them. But compare that later. They just shake their heads and Man, let's see. Are they paying attention? No, they're not. They take another step forward and they knock their bowl clattering onto the floor. The tea goes just spilling the floor as they advance towards Crystal again. And they just Mo just chuckles and says, "Well, tell me, what did you think was going to happen? You didn't want it to end like that? Well, how long are you going to put it off? You get the perfect moment, the perfect chance, the perfect words, the perfect situation where it's all going to be fine in the end? Because I really hate to be the one to have to tell you this, Crystal, and I do mean that I hate to be the one to have to tell you this. But there's no such thing as the perfect time. It's been too long. That time has been and gone. Perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect moment doesn't pecking exist for something like that. There was always going to be fallout. No matter what you did, there was always going to be a fallout.
Of
And
course there was, but at least it should have been on my terms and my conditions, and not yours.
I think you're missing a big pecking point here, and it's. I think you're missing the point. But even if it's a secret you needed to reveal, it's not fair to Cassie to keep it from her that long in the first place.
None of this is fair. I should have told her when she was a child
Yes,
and I was a child?
yes, yes, absolutely. Would have upset her first, maybe, probably. We don't. Quite frankly, we're. No, that doesn't matter. If you tell her when she's younger, maybe she'd be upset. But then you could work together. You could support each other from the very pecking beginning. And this wouldn't have been an issue because then she'd know you have her back. And she'd be able to help you more. You could work together more instead of struggling by yourself for 16 or more hours a day just to try and find a cure and also carry the burden of keeping that secret from your sister. That's probably not pecking helping.
Oh, yeah, so now it's not helping. Yeah, thank you for that. That makes me feel a lot better.
Well, sometimes you have to feel worse before you feel better. And maybe this isn't something you want to hear, but guess what? You're hearing it. Because you're. You're so stubborn in a lot of ways. And there is again, I can't say this enough. It's a quality that we all admire. Not partly at the moment. It's a little bit frustrating at the moment, quite frankly. But this was going to come out one way or another. Maybe you wanted it to be done on your terms. Maybe you wanted it done in a better way or a simpler way. Quite frankly, Crystal, tell us. Actually, you know what? Did you have like a perfect plan? Did you? Tell us. What exactly were you thinking?
Would you like to roll an insight?
Absolutely would. They're too inside their own heads at the moment.
Yeah, no, you don't get anything from her. She's just glaring you down. She doesn't answer your questions,
And
though.
just, man. You know what? I'm gonna roll this. Do this by accident. Hey, so Crystal, have you been backing up at all? Because they have been walking towards you.
Let me see. Has she been? No, she's sort of standing her ground at the moment.
Cool. Give me a moment. My computer's decided to freeze and not give me the results I want from my computer. I'm just trying to look up some stats. Can I have my stats, please? Thank you. That's what I wanted to check. Oh, well, yeah, that's an accidental intimidation, is the kind of loom over you, and you're not backed up against the wall because you haven't been backing down. You don't back down, Crystal. They loom over you. You just, you know what? I think they might accidentally do this as well. Yeah, they would. Yeah,
No,
they
now you roll low.
would. um, yeah, they're gonna accidentally cast that. Make me a whiz save, please.
Oh, good. Okay.
I mean, you'll probably be fine. Ooh. Ooh, are you going disadvantage there or?
No, the other one was from the intimidation. I don't know if you were wanting me to roll again.
Okay. Um, so so if you're going with the intimidation, I guess the first one would be intimidation. 13. If that is the case, I'm going to take that second one as the whiz save because that's a nat one,
Hmm.
and that will be quite fun for this. So Eenie, Miney, and Mo are looming over you, and they are very close. And still, you've seen them at their goofiest, man. You've seen them be just fucking silly, stupid goobers who've torn up your apartment. But also, they've been very sweet and like made you tea and breakfast whilst they're at it, and just they're just generally goofy, dorky birds. You know, they're goobers. They're just funny men. But as you look up, you start to notice the height difference. And as the sun starts to get a bit lower in the sky and casts shadows on the wall, you can kind of start to notice not only are they very tall, but their beaks are very sharp. And they their eyes, when they're narrowed, it's very, very hard to see that they have a pupil at all. And they completely by accident lean forward and they they hiss at you. You think that you know everything. You're strong enough to handle everything by yourself just because you did it as a kid. And you refuse help. Now you can take it. And quite frankly, you thought you could carry that secret. A secret for one that wasn't one that belonged to you. You thought you had that right to keep it from your sister. I think maybe we made a mistake. Maybe you're certainly stubborn and willful enough to be. You're certainly stubborn and willful enough to be a hero, but looking at you now, honestly, can't, apart from that stubborn streak in you, I genuinely can't see what we saw in you in the first place. Um, and they just accidentally cast vicious mockery.
Oh dear.
So full damage.
Yep.
You you made them roll a nat one on wisdom. I they they have reached a strange. I mean, you can roll an insight actually.
Okay. All right.
She is in a state to roll me
Uh.
insight or arcana
I'm gonna go with the insight because her
because
arcana is a lot better. And this doesn't seem
okay,
like the
fair enough.
time.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh my
Of
gosh, do
course.
you want to do that at disadvantage? You want to do that at disadvantage because Dissonant Whispers technically gives you disadvantage on attack roll, but
Fair.
if you want, you can do it on
I
this one.
mean, I did go with the insight over the arcana for the like kind of disadvantage, but I will roll again.
Just to see. Get another nat 20. No, it's a 10. No. You Yep, you don't get it. They're just leering down at you, and they hiss at you in such a fashion, and you just your head hurts a little bit. Actually, head hurts. Just ow, 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 ow. You don't know why your head hurts, but as soon as they say that, they just kind of lean back. They tilt their head at you. Mo tilts his head at you, actually, and you, you asked us why. You asked us why we drag people into being rangers that never wanted to be rangers. Well, the answer to that is we don't. We hand out the badges, for the most part, and then if people want to see us again, we go ahead and we see them again. If there's some people we think that need an extra bit of help getting to where they want to go, irregardless of whether they want to be a ranger or not, help them. Because we're rangers and that's what we do. And if we've ever got any hope of being a guildmaster, it's what we do. So, Crystal, Everlight,
Mm.
proposal then.
I think I will say that with the dissonant was it dissonant whispers or what did what did you cast again?
Dissonant Whispers. I believe it was Dissonant Whispers. I think it was Dissonant Whispers.
All right, yeah. With that, like, and with the intimidation, um,
Sorry, no, sorry, it was Vicious Mockery. It was Vicious
vicious
Mockery.
mockery.
Apologies.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I am also probably gonna roll this at disadvantage just because of the vicious mockery.
Disadvantage on an attack roll. But yeah. Mm,
Well, it's not an
okay.
attack roll. Um, that was
Mm-hmm.
that was a dex save because she's backed up, and she's still in the nest. She's I
Okay.
think stumbled over the edge of the nest, but doesn't fall over.
Look down at where she's standing, and they slowly look back up at her, and just nod their heads and say, "Then you've made your point very perfectly clear, Crystal. So, this is where we, I suppose this is where we part ways then." And, hey, I have a quick question. The badge that they gave Crystal, would she have put that in her hammer space?
Probably.
Okay. In which case, there. Moment, I'm just going to check something. Nope. Not that, not that, not that, not that. Okay, they can't actually do that. Okay. Just gonna step back, look down at the nest, and then look towards the window. Odd. Well, I mean, we'll give you some time to cool down. And, if you still think that about us, then we'll dismantle that. We won't bother you again, then, eh? Hope you enjoy Hope you enjoy your time away from us, eh? Really get your head on straight, you know? Decide what you want to do. And maybe, be maybe prioritise yourself a little bit more, eh? They just turn and walk towards the window. They open the window and they start to exit. And Eenie is going to call out from behind him, unless Crystal's going to stop or say anything more.
No, I think okay, sort of. Do you want to make a perception as they're leaving?
19. Excellent.
Okay, now I got to figure out how to word it. Um,
Never expect them to roll high when it matters.
Um. Oh God, I'm just words. Uh,
I pat you. You take your time, my dude. You absolutely take your time. Words are difficult.
um.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say to Amy now. Um, so walk him out. Okay, I know what they're going to say.
Um. I think. God, why is this so hard?
Because this is hard. This is hard. It is very difficult.
Yeah, I think. I think you. I think they hear. Um. Fine. Leave then. No one understands. No one. Fine. I can do this by myself.
Just you're just gonna hear Eenie kind of sigh and shake his head sadly at you and say, "That's the thing, Crystal. Been doing it so long by yourself, you still think that's the way you have to do it. But you don't. Need to hear that yet. So we'll take our leave. Be back. Well, we'll be back whenever. Whenever we're not on a job. Until then, take care of yourself. And for the love of Peg, please, talk to your sister." And unless you have anything to
Uh.
respond to that with,
I do. She's gonna say, don't bother. You've made your position perfectly clear.
nod. We've made our position pretty damn clear, yeah. The issue here is, where do you want to stand, Crystal? Archer's Tower? Or humble yourself? I'll make amends kind of deal, By the way, we can't make that decision for you because you're your own person. I think, I think it's time that you make a few very big girl decisions. And probably gonna hop out and just open. Um, Actually, before they do, Mo's gonna look back and just stick his head through the window and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, you can shakes his head to where you're standing. You can dismantle that if you want." And his head pops back out, and you just hear the sounds of them thump, 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 thumping away, presumably across the rooftops. They leave to it.
Mm. There's a slamming of the window behind them, but I don't know if they look back.
Uh, Let me roll a d3. Let me see who looks back. Because one of them is Eenie, Miney, or Mo. It's Eenie.
um, yeah, then um, Eenie will see the like yeah crystals sort of slamming the window shut behind them and locking it, which is something she doesn't do anymore. Um, uh,
Mm,
but yeah, and then there's I'm gonna roll off that 21 from before the perception. You do see that she's like blinking very rapidly and like pushing her glasses out of the way to like yeah like roughly rub at her eyes before she she like slam like sort of like sharply pulls the curtain across the window.
gosh, man. See now. Oh gosh, there is something they could do, but don't think they do it right now.
Mm.
Done it before, the Juniper specifically, but yeah, I think they're gonna do it right now. This is not a song of rest kind of time. No one, none of them are getting any rest tonight, I don't think.
Nope.
And Eenie, Miney, and Mo are going to turn back towards each other, and they're just sort of. If anyone were to look, they'd see these three birds standing very still whilst their body is juddering a little bit. It is cold after all. It's nighttime now. The sun's starting to go down. The cold is seeping in, and you just see their body start to shiver. They heave one great breath in, let it out. They Miney turns towards the other two and says, "Well, back on the road then, eh, fellas?" I think it's a good idea that we visited that spot today, you know. Wasn't expecting to have to use that again so soon. Well, lights are wasting. Let's head on before it gets too dark, eh? Yes. Well, since we've been on the road properly. Well, come on, let's get going. And they hop to the rooftop and on the roadside, but thump. And Crystal will hear the as their feet run away.
Mm. Um, you they don't see this. This is back inside the apartment, which is still a mess. You know, there's the the stuff strewn around from the thunder wave and you know mugs on the floor and stuff and
Tea bowl has been knocked over,
yeah, and
so
it's spilled on the floor and normally Crystal would never leave her apartment so um in so much of a disarray, but uh after closing the window, the curtain, she just stands there for a couple of moments, taking in deep breaths and like um, fighting, fighting back tears before, um, like as soon as that she has like enough of a command over herself, she's ignoring all of that and heading straight for her table with her notes and stuff still spread across it, and she does pick up some of those that might have fallen off but ignores everything else, and she just with like sharp movements sits herself down and begins to like throw herself back into her research um, as the hours go on and it gets later and later into the night.
And, and I feel like a way to just end this is to zoom in on the nest. I feel just past her and the nest where there is a mug of cold old tea, untouched, unbroken, unmoved by the side of the nest. And next to it, turned over bowl of what used to be tea that has seeped to the floor. And the bowl is cracked in three perfect fractured pieces. Not a single shard. It's just three big chunks. And you think we can end it there?
I think that's probably a pretty good place to end it.
Yeah, it feels right.
Uh,
Gosh,
thank you
that wasn't
everyone
as long
for
as I thought it would be.
yeah, thank you everyone for
Yeah,
listening in.
thank you everyone for listening.
Sorry for the that's definitely not a
So,
fun note to leave things on, but thank you for sticking with us through it all if you did.
hmm, yeah, yeah, this was a time. This was a time. But yeah, thank you all for listening. I hope you
um,
enjoyed this.
and thank you for being my scheming buddy. Do it was
Thank you for wanting to scheme this with me. Man, there won't be any consequences to this at all. None
no,
whatsoever.
surely not.
No,
Oh well.
it's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see you all guys in the future, hopefully.
See you for whatever the future's going to bring. Goodbye and thank you for listening.